Greetings and welcome, UFG Warriors. Steel here with another hopefully helpful video. Today we're going to go over daily activities, and we're also going to go over them in such a way that you do not need to use the PvP or troop killing options. This is a really good way to know, just in case you find yourself in a time or situation where dropping your bubble to PvP isn't a really good option or a good idea. Namely, this applies to KE. Get started with that. So usually the first thing you get is your daily rewards menu. Now, granted, I logged on earlier to check my bubble, so I had to get rid of that pop-up. But it would look like this. Now, these are good to have. They do give you, little things throughout the week. A couple thousand gems, truce agreement. That's never a bad thing to get. So, and these are renewed in your shrine, so we'll go over that a little bit later. But yeah, this should be the first screen that you see when you log on. That's the first thing to do. Now, we're also going to do a couple more things before we get into the meat of the activities. So, we collect our daily rewards. We come up here to this little treasure chest, and you want to hit that. That gives you general fragments. So if you could log in each day and you collect fragment every day for the entire month, you'll get a pretty decent general at the end of the month. As we can see here, we have Abd al-Rahman. I don't know if I say that correct, but he's the barracks officer. So if you weren't able to get him through relics, this is a good way to get him as well. You get decent generals from these treasure chests, so try and log in every day and at least grab those fragments. So we've done that. Now, the third thing, and probably one of the two most important things to do before you get into your activities, is check your mail. Always check your mail. This is how you're going to get information from leadership as well as other players. This is how you stay informed. Please check your mail. Now, next, what we're going to do is one of the most important things, we're going to take care of the Alliance. You take care of the Alliance takes care of you. Pretty simple. So, we're going to come in here. We'll go ahead and grab whatever gifts we can get. Make sure you hit the Alliance help. Remember, help out your Alliance mates. They do the same for you. And then we're going to get into Alliance Science. Now, this can be tricky. It does trip people up. So let's get in and see what's going on. Here, you donate some resources to whatever science that is at the very top of this list. So you can donate up to 4 hours, and you don't want to go over 4 hours because then you tick the clock over, and I'll show you what happens when you do that. So we want to go up as close to 4 hours as we can. And if you notice, every time we hit this donate, the clock goes up by 20 minutes. So just remember that as you donate, it goes up by 20 minutes. So if you're trying to get it close to the 4-hour mark again, you need to be aware of how much time you're adding. So there we go. I've hit my 4-hour mark. Now I like to donate multiple times a day, so I'll leave this here to kind of just tick down, cook, whatever you want to call it, and I'll come back and donate again back up to as close as I can to get to 4 hours. Now if you go over 4 hours, you get this. Now when this happens, you can do two things. You wait a full 4 hours before you donate again, or you spend these gems to reset the timer and allow you to donate. I'll go ahead and do that just because, like I said, I like to donate throughout the day. Now, donating is important for a couple reasons. Here is where you get your Alliance honor points. So you need those to rack up to unlock items in the Alliance shop. Here are your Alliance points. This is what you spend in the Alliance shop to get, whatever rewards you want. So you definitely want to try and donate as much as possible for that reason. So now that we're done with that, back out. Okay, so we've done our daily activities, we've done our treasure chest, and we've taken care of the Alliance. So now let's get into the meat of activities. Now, for me personally, I follow a simple pattern no matter what account I'm on or what the building layout is. This helps me just to keep everything going and organize in my mind what's happening. And the pattern that I follow is fairly simple. I start at the gate, I go up the middle of the keep, and then I just kind of go around the perimeter and hit the buildings as they come. So I'll start with that. First grab whatever goodies they have on the wall, always. Check here because you will get VIP points in these server gifts. Then we're going to start with our patrol. So in the patrol, there are multiple different items that can give you monarch gear, resources, speed ups, and general experience as well. So personally, I don't get general experience from here. You can get it from multiple other places. Plus, I use the sub-city leveling method that a lot of people are doing nowadays. So, but I will get monarch gear that I like. I usually use this for monarch gear, resources, and speed ups. So you get 3 free spins. After that, you can keep gaining items for 30 gems. Also, if you don't like whatever item is up, you can refresh it for 10,000 gold. So I will take that. Now, if I didn't like that, again, you can hit refresh, and it gives you something else. So I like to grab monarch gear out of here. Okay, now we're done with our patrol. Let's go up, and at this point, I hit my shrine. Now, 2 things in the shrine. We already went over daily rewards. If you didn't get them from the beginning, you can get them there. Now, the other thing that we use is the offer feature. This is where you can offer gems and tributes and gain prestige ranking. So this is also where you renew your advanced daily rewards. It takes 7 donations, about 1,025 gems, I believe, 75. So you need to offer 7 times to renew your daily rewards. Now you can offer tributes. They're free. You get them from the relics. You can buy them in the Alliance shop. All of that. So I tend to save my tributes for Saturday, so I get this king protection for Battlefield, as well as the the production speed for your city. So I will use gems. Hit that, and as you can see, I've renewed my daily rewards, so I'll continue to get them next week. Okay, so one thing before we continue, since the shrine does help prestige, is, and I forgot to go over this, is the Alliance shop. Here's where you spend your Alliance honor points. Sorry, right here, and as you can see, you can get stamina, resources, speed ups, 4 items, and the all important right here is your truce agreements. So this is a really good place to get them without having to spend gems. All you spend with these Alliance points. So you have an 8-hour available, 24, and a 3-day. If you can save up 100,000 to get this 3-day, that saves you 2,500 gems. So keep donating to the Alliance and rack up these points. Okay, sorry for that sidebar. Let's continue. So we've done our shrine. We've made our offerings. This is also where you can go to the Poem of History and the Arc of Triumph. In here, you give flowers to the players who rank top 3 in SVS or those who have opened their wonder. Now, we have several people in our alliance that have opened their wonder, so I try and take care of them. And you'll get items and bags in your inventory from doing that. Now let's move up to the keep. The keep, you're going to use this levy button, and this is going to get you gold. So you come in here, if you hit this, it's just going to grab from your keep. So I like to hit this free levy all. It grabs the gold from your keep as well as your sub-cities. Now there's other places to get gold as well. We'll cover that in another video, but this is a good place to start each day to get a little bit of gold in your pocket. Now, like I said, I'm just going to work in a pattern and work down the left side of my keep. Again, I know that not everyone has the same building layout. Whatever works for you, whatever pattern that you want to use that helps keep things organized in your mind, go ahead and do it. This is just my personal way of keeping things organized. And also just a way to walk you through all the activities. So your academy is one of the most important buildings, especially when you start climbing levels and getting up there, K30 and above. You really need to research. That is a huge part of this game. Your tech power plays a lot into PvPing as far as, buffs, attacks, defense, all of that. So now, when you start getting these higher levels, as you can see, if I can find where that was. There we go. As you can see, 31 days. It's a long time to wait. If you're trying to get these done quickly, and this is one of the activities you're using, you can come in and just find one that you haven't done much work on. So here we go. I got 8 hours right there. Now, another important thing, always change your crown to whatever activity you're doing. It's going to shave off time, and it's very helpful. So let's choose the research speed crown. Go back to the same thing. And now it's just 7.5 hours. So that's a good trick to build up your, little things first that don't take long. So you can either use speed ups, rely on Alliance help, and just wait for the time to tick down. Personally, I like to use speed ups if I have them. This is a lot of speed ups, but I'll go ahead and do it right now. Just because I'm really trying to hammer out some research now that I'm up at K33. So I'm going to work on my siege. As you can see, one day that'll go significantly down with the Alliance help button, as well as just letting it sit overnight. Make sure you hit this hand signal so you get the Alliance help request, though. Moving on, next we come to our warehouse. This is where resources are stored and protected. So when you hit that hand button, you're going to gather all of these resources down here from your tiles. So once you hit that button, I can show you. You'll see I collect a decent amount. I collect a good amount up here from my resource tiles, and we'll go over those in a minute as well. Your warehouse you want to keep, upgraded as you continue to upgrade, because you'll see that the higher you go, the more resources you can protect. And that is extremely helpful during KE and SVS when you don't want a lot of resources open, because all these resources in this bar right here are open to the enemy to steal. So if you get hit by an opponent and they win the attack, you're going to lose a bunch of resources if they're up there. So it's a good reason to try and keep your resource bar low unless you're about to upgrade any buildings or train a lot of troops, just so that if you get attacked, your bubble drops, something happens, you don't lose a lot in here. So that's our warehouse. You can see you can use buffs to protect even more resources. So continuing to work down this left side, I come to my research factory next. I gather whatever quest it says I've completed, and then I go to produce materials. Now, no matter what level you are, you always want to produce materials, because when you get up to a higher level, it eats a lot of materials for gear, and they are hard to come by. They get hard to come by. You see how we hammer out Vikings just to get materials and gold. So no matter what level you are, you should start crafting materials, especially these things like dragon scales. They're super hard to come by, and you need a lot of them once you start crafting gear. So always just have something going in here. No matter what level you are, it will help you in the future. So now we come to troops. A couple different ways to approach this. For me, personally, I cannot ghost all the troops in this account already, so I don't really worry about my troop count. I just keep training my top tier as long as I need to get to whatever goal I have. So, now, I don't usually like to do this. I don't like breaking into my boxes. I try and do most of everything just using these resources up here. Doesn't always work that way, as you can see. But if you don't have those extra resources, I could train just this and get the points for troop training. So now there is a troop training crown that I should have put on first, but I didn't, so my fault. I have a lot of troop speed ups, so I always use speed ups. But again, not a long time to wait once you get the alliance help, and then you might be able to use just 2 or 3 speed ups to finish it. So I'm taking care of my troops. Now, if you're on an account that can ghost your troops, and you're reaching that capacity where you're going to soon not be able to ghost all of them if you keep training, you can do a little trick, especially for SVS, well, namely for SVS, where you train T1s. Just train a round of T1s. Now, they don't cost much to train. They don't take long. And once you get up there, you want about 1 million of them anyways for defense purposes. But in SVS, you can do this neat little trick where you fill up your hospital with T1 troops. Okay? And doing so causes the rest of your troops that get injured or wounded during SVS to go into this little, well, you usually get like a little revive button, up here. There you can use these source of life crystals to revive your troops for minimal resources and no speed ups. And that only happens if your hospital is at full capacity. So you can train a bunch of T1s knowing that during SVS you're going to put a bunch in the hospital, so you might be able to ghost all your troops after that. If not, you can always come into your troop details menu. You can dismiss some. I could dismiss 4,000, and then I just train 4,000 right back again. Not a big deal. I'm not losing too much, especially if I'm using T1s. So those are your troops. So continuing to move along, now I'm starting to work my way over to the right side of my keep. And for me, I hit my market. There are 2 things that we're going to tackle in the market. One of them is the tax. The other one is the black market. So first, let's tax. Now you get free taxes. As you can see, I get 16 basically rolls. As far as taxes, you can do it however you want. Me personally, like I said, I like to use the resources up here. So I try and see what I have the least of up here, or if I know I'm going to need a specific resource soon, then I go ahead and tax that. Here you can see I need some more stone. As you can see, it's free. If I go over that, it starts to cost gems. And right there, I got about 1,000,000 stone. So, now that we're done with taxing, let's go to the black market. Here you can gain all sorts of items. Granted, they cost all sorts of different prices, we'll say. Some of it is gems. Some items you can get for gold, and some you can get for resources. So, I personally don't like to spend gems here. I try and get things for resources if I can. You only need to buy like 3 or 4 items to complete the task. So, again, I try not to spend as many gems. I use them for a lot of other things. I will spend them for Monarch gear, because that is important. I use that a lot. Besides the crowns, I use other, attack, defense, and HP a lot. And we'll go over all your Monarch gear in another video. So here's another, again, Siege for Battlefield. I will get mounted HP because I do a lot of rallies, so I always grab mounted. But again, I don't really like spending gems. The only thing I really will spend them on is Monarch gear, or if I desperately need a type of resource, I would try and gather for that. But as you can see here, this is what I mean by you can spend resources to get items. So, a little bit of ore. And this is just a quick, easy way to fulfill this task, we'll say, activity. Again, now you get 3 free turns, and after that it's 50 gems to refresh. Pretty self-explanatory. I've gotten my items that I want. Come back out here. Whenever you see this treasure box, go ahead and grab whatever's there. It adds up. Everything in this game adds up. So no matter how small or large, just keep going. You will get there. It will, like I said, it will add up and you will get to where you're going. You just got to keep, being persistent. So, Embassy is where you can also hit the hands to help out your alliance mates. And you want to keep that up, as it allows your reinforcements as well as affects your resource transportation. So after our embassy, I hit my prison. A couple different ways you can use the prison. First is to release 1,000 captives and you'll gain 50 prestige points. Personally, I don't find that worth it. 50 prestige points isn't much, not really going to change your game. However, what you can do is labor them. And as you see, labor gives you 4 hours of your basic output. Now, this is one of the reasons, one of the other reasons why you want to get your research tiles, or your resource tiles, up as much as possible. As you can see, I have a little ways to go on some of these. Food and stone aren't anywhere close. Getting up there with lumber, needs some work. But as you can see, the main thing is I've been focusing on my ore mines, those type of tiles. And right here, I get 1,000,000 every time I hit this labor button. Again, not a whole lot, but if I hit the labor button, 2 or 3 times today, that's about 3,000,000, or it's not a bad pull. Now, after you labor, you do have to wait 6 hours for a cooldown. Or again, you can always clear it early with gems. So that's how I use my prison. It just makes more sense to me that I can get more out of it when it comes to resources over prestige points. Your workshop, you don't have to do anything for daily activities. That is where you build your siege. You do have to train some traps. And you want to train traps. You want to use them, especially if you PvP. They are super helpful. A lot of people overlook them, but they are there and they are helpful. And you do want them layered, like most other things in the game, except for monsters. Obviously, then you want just top tier. But everything else, as far as PvP, Battlefield, you want your traps. So you want them layered. So I try and come down here and see what I need more of to replace. So as I can see there, I need to replace that. Again, breaking into boxes I don't really like doing, but I use speed ups because I have a bunch for trap building. Again, you can always only, train a few, and time won't be as bad. So, after my trap factory, I come up to my tavern, and let's do the Wheel of Fortune. Now, granted, you can see I have chips already in here. But if you don't worry. Every day they give you 100 chips, and you can spin once, and that is all you need to complete the activity is one spin. Now, if you have extra chips, this 10 spins thing is pretty cool. It gives you extra chances, especially when you get to, these general blessings where you get 2 times or 3 times chances. So after that, we have our forge. You don't need to do this anything for daily activities, but this is a general rule. You should always try and be crafting something if you can. Gear really does take a while and adds up and is really important. Your gear and your refines really affect how you fight in battle. So always try and be crafting just something as much as you can. I don't have materials right now to craft the things I need or want, so mine's just sitting there. Hospital, if you have troops, heal them. A lot of people will leave troops in overnight in case power increases the next day. It's a quick and easy way to increase your power without really losing many points. So now we've done that, let's come down here to our resource tiles and let's focus on construction. Now, construction you can do multiple ways. You can, just wait it out and not do this daily. You can still complete the daily activities without doing this. I try and do a little trick to keep things going when it comes to construction. I use a resource tile because, as you can see, like my main construction right here is my stables. 127 days. I don't have enough speed ups for that, so that's just taken down normally. So what I'll do is I'll come to my resource tiles. And, granted, I have some speed ups, so I use that. I'll show you a cool little trick. Oh, yes, and if you do it this way, your thieves will pop early, so just be aware of that, and, understand that it does give you a little bit more chance to get them killed, at the beginning of the day, so you don't have to worry about it. You're not scrambling at the end. So, what I will do, if I just need something quick and easy to construct, I have what I like to consider basically a demo tile. So, what I mean by that is I demolish it just over and over again. I build it back up until it gets too, too costly in time. And then I just tear it back down. So I'm going to hit this demolish button to do that. So it's gone. Now I immediately just put one back up there. I will upgrade it past the free upgrade points. I think it takes me to level 7 or 8, yeah. So now you see, to upgrade it, it's only about an hour. If you were to put your construction crown on, which I always highly recommend, if you're going to pay attention to your crowns, construction and healing are big ones to pay attention to. Shaved off a little bit of time. Alliance help is really going to take care of most of that for me, so I'm not too concerned. But if I wanted to, I've done my construction, so I can just save this for tomorrow and know that I only have less than an hour to take to get to that. So now, as you go along, you do want to focus on your other resource tiles, because as you can see, it does, put out a decent amount. Your tiles, you want about, 9 or 10 of the resources that you're really focusing on, and then you want to get them up to levels 29 or 30 to get the most production that you can, really. So, just a little quick tip right there. So, now that we've done this, I feel pretty confident that I've taken care of most of the things in my keep. So I'm going to move to some quote-unquote off-screen things, not things that aren't readily available just in your keep, but that you also have to do for your daily activities. So we have already done the Wheel of Fortune, which is hidden in our tavern, as we saw. Next, let's do material composition. So you're going to come into your items menu, right there. You're going to go to your equipment section, and you're just coming down to your materials down here and composing them. Now, if you're going for a certain material, you can obviously check that one and see where you stand and compose from there. If you don't have something like that, you can just take something small. Like at my level, I'm never going to use this, so it's pretty safe to say that I can always compose it. So I do. I just hit compose all, it takes care of it. Just an easy way, quick and easy way to do that. So next, we're going to do general cultivation. So go into your generals, pick whatever general you want to cultivate. Right now, I am working on my siege general. Here he is. So as you can see, he's a work in progress. But we're gonna focus on this button down here where it says cultivate. And cultivating raises these stats down here. As you can see, it affects these areas. The important ones for PvP are march speed, attack, and defense. As you can see, politics mainly affects your sub-cities and your resource gathering speed. For a PvP player, I don't find that really necessary. I focus on attack and defense first, and then I'll go to leadership for the march speed. So a couple ways you can cultivate. You got your gold over here. You got one spin of gems over here. And then if you have extra gems, and you can do it, I recommend doing this cultivate times 10. You just tend to get better stats off of it. So lower level general can usually get good stats from gold, but once you get up higher, you see, these aren't great. Now, to complete the activity, you can just hit the gold cultivate a couple times and hit cancel. Not a big deal, but you do actually want to cultivate your generals, so this is a good time to actually do that. So we saw the gold isn't great. The gems always give us a little bit better, but one spin obviously didn't help that much. Which is why I like this option if I have gems. And another reason you like this option is because you can focus on what you want to increase. So since, like I said, I'm focusing on attack and defense, I check those off. And sometimes it won't, give you what you need, so it doesn't work. But you can see, when it does work, you get more positive stats. Now remember, that's an average of 10 rolls, so there were negatives in those 10 rolls. But when you're done with it, like I said, you get some decent. Let's see. Granted, my leadership and politics suffer, but like I said, right now I'm working on attack and defense. So you only need to hit this once to get your cultivating done. But, like I said, you do want to actually cultivate your generals, so this is a good time to actually focus on that. So, there we have our generals, and they are cultivated. Next, we have relic exploration and resource gathering. I'll go over resource gathering in a minute. But, okay, so I already have marches out. If I didn't have marches out, I would simply teleport next to a relic and then go in and out twice. Now, since I don't want to pull these, I'm just going to find in our relic menu, I'm going to find the closest relic to the hive, which is not that one. This will work. I have speed ups. Again, usually I would try and port next to it. It makes it quicker, but if not, not a big deal. Just send some along their way. You obviously can wait for them to get there and come back. For the sake of this video, let's just speed this up. So you don't need to even leave it in there long at all. You can, as soon as you get in, you can immediately pull it back out. And now, personally, I don't wait for that march to come all the way back in. I don't worry about two marches being tied up because I speed march everywhere. So I'll send it before the first one even comes back. Again, personal preference and how you want to use your items and resources. And again, she's pulling back out. So now I'm pretty confident I've taken care of most of the activities that I can think of off the top of my head. At this point, I do go into my activities list and see what I've completed. And I'm not gonna lie, I do it this way mainly so I can get the satisfaction of watching that bar tick all the way up. As we go in here, I just love this. Without even looking at this menu, we've done 139 out of our goal of 145 without looking at the menu, without doing anything else. And if I wasn't here explaining everything, it would have only taken you about 10 minutes to run through all that. Like I said, this is how I do it every day. It only takes me 10 to 15 minutes to usually get this done. If not, it's only a couple more items I have to do throughout the day. Not a big deal. So, yeah, and you get rewards from this. You get materials, gold, some speed ups, as you can see. Some little resources, but I'm gonna open all these. Again, speed ups, materials, and here is more general XP, so another reason why I don't use the patrol for it. So one thing I have completed here that we haven't touched base on yet is this resource gathering. Now, pretty sure most of you know what that is. So, one of the better ways to do this is to gather resources overnight when you're offline, so that when you wake up and you come back on, this is done. Now, if you've been cultivating your generals and you've been hitting the politics on your gathering generals, that increases the gathering speed. So you might run into the problem I ran into where I cultivated my generals enough and buffed them up that, from the time that I just usually sign off for the night till the time of server reset, it's about 7 hours, which most of my gatherers now don't take 7 hours. They take maybe 4.5. So what I went out and did was to grab another gatherer, like a Princess Lucy or a Gaius Marius, and didn't enhance them, didn't cultivate them very much. So they take about 7 hours on an upper level tile, like a 14 or a 15. For 15, I think she takes 9. So I use her when I go to bed because I know that she's going to take forever and that she will not come back before server reset. So that when I wake up, I get these rewards. So just a, easy way to do this. Now, if you didn't do it overnight, go to a level, 4 or 5 tile, collect. It only takes about an hour. and you'll have this completed as well. So that's resource gathering. So now we're left with a few options. Remember, we're not using troop killing and we're not using PvP battle. So troop healing is another reason why people will sometimes leave troops in their hospital overnight. You can fix this, get this done real quick by just healing. If you didn't have people in your hospital overnight, you can, send some T1s to a rally, get you wounded that way. However you can get it. Like I said, usually I'd recommend sending some T1s to a couple rallies, and you'll get those points. But as we see, we're at 139. We only have to get to 145 to get this right here. This is what we're focused on getting. Key of Conscription. So, looking at this, I'm pretty sure I can get those last 5 points just by doing this activity. And granted, if you join boss monsters first and you complete this, then your monster killing will also automatically be completed. If you're just trying to get this done quick and easy and you don't have time to sit around for some rallies for boss monsters, you can simply hit these little mobs right outside of the hive and get those points. It doesn't take much. Just pull these guys back. So, I really only need to attack about 3 or 4 of them to get the points that I'm looking for. Let's find one more. Okay, so I've hit a couple monsters. Again, pretty sure that should take care of my points. So let's go in here and let's see. Yep, 4 monsters. I didn't even have to complete this whole activity. All I needed was a few to get me to our goal of 145. So now that we open it and we collect our key, you can go back into our keep. And the whole point of getting this key is so you can come back into your tavern. You can use the Great General chest. Our goal is, right here. So this chest does refresh on its own about every 2 days, so you can get a free open every 2 days. But if you get a key every day, you get to open it no matter what. So we'll see what's inside. Usually you get a fragment and then 2 goodies. Sometimes you get 2 fragments. Sometimes you pull a whole general out. Just depends on your luck, I guess. But usually this is what you're going to see. A fragment and 2 other random items. Now, here we have our key. Again, these fragments add up. So you will get some duplicate generals, but if we can, look at all these duplicates that we have here. But so your fragments do add up, and you will get good generals from it. So try and get this key every day. It increases your chances for a decent general. So with that, there is one last thing I do before I either log back off for work or real life or whatever, or before I start doing whatever the Monarch event is or running rallies, whatever I'm going to do for the day. The last thing I do before I do that is I come to my subordinate cities, and you can either hit the button here, or you can go into subordinate cities right here, go in there, you hit this little treasure chest, and what you do is you'll collect these materials. Your sub-cities produce materials, keep them going, keep them up to date so they can, produce better materials for you. So, and I'll hit this button up here, and it collects all the materials that my sub-cities had to offer. And your sub-cities will offer more materials later on. It just depends on their level, as it affects how fast they generate materials. There's also research that you can do to, increase that, but I haven't done that quite yet, so don't pay attention to me over here. So with that done, I'm ready to play the game for the rest of the day at my pace. I don't have to worry about completing anything. It's all just what I want to do. That is my goal, to get all this done as quickly as possible so I can enjoy the game, enjoy my day, and not feel pressured to, get activities done that are just ones that could be easily knocked out like this. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, concerns, always feel free to reach out to me or anyone from leadership, the other R4s or Lion. We will do our best to answer your questions and get you the help that you need. Well, until next time, stay safe, keep your bubbles up, and good hunting, UFG. I'll catch you on the battlefield.